So RFK Jr., his hearing, whether it was successful or not, is going to be answered very soon. But one thing is abundantly clear. What did we see just before RFK Jr.'s hearings took place? Nicole Shanahan, who was RFK Jr.'s running mate, made a direct challenge to all the U.S. senators that if they didn't help support him, old Bobby Jr., that she was going to be throwing money into the various districts that they are in when they are running for re-election, and that she's going to either primary them or either that make sure a candidate of an opposite party defeats them. Now, I've made my feelings on this very clear. None of us should be surprised about it. Yes, I'm disgusted with money in politics because the person with the most money always wins. You, the American voter, are not participating in any real change. You're just, getting nothing but a placebo effect. You're feeling good. That's all what you're doing. But I think a lot of you in my audience have wisened up to the fact that, you don't have a say or a position at the table. But she recently went on Fox News to plead her reasons why she's going to do this. Now, everyone's entitled to do whatever they want with their money or how they want to live their lives. It's just, my goodness, we should all be enraged that this is how elections are won in America. The most money.
Nicole, great to see you today. What did you think of the hearing? What did you think of the performance by both the senators and RFK?
RFK did a great job, and I just want everybody to know that the Maha Maga unity movement is very, very strong in the United States right now. Arguably, it is the largest movement in the world, and it is what catapulted President Trump back into the White House, and it is fully behind RFK Jr.'s confirmation. And so watching the senators at work today, I just have to say thank you to Senator Ron Johnson. I got many text messages from moms across America who were in tears to hear his earnest support of RFK Jr.'s confirmation. And I do also want to make it clear that, yes, we are watching every one of these votes, every senator's actions, every word that came out of their mouths. And there are hundreds of thousands that are mobilized to take action during primary season.
Well, the opinion that you shared is backed up by the stats that the unification between Maha and Maga is backed up by this Fox poll. 48% of voters would vote for RFK Jr. for his HHS secretary. That's the highest, by the way, of any of the Trump nominees to cabinet positions. So it's clear, as you point out, that RFK supporters helped win Donald Trump the presidency.
Now, there's a lot of things that helped Donald Trump win the presidency. There were a lot of factors, and RFK Jr.'s endorsement was a huge boost, which, by the way, that took place right after the DNC convention, as well as getting Tulsi Gabbard's endorsement and a few other endorsements as well. It was clear. It was clear that Trump was on the pathway to winning the 2024 election cycle. But look at what's being presented here. This is a full-blown direct challenge to U.S. senators and how they will vote. And is this the game? The answer is yes, it is. This is how the game is played. If you don't vote my way, I'm going to spend money to get you out. So instead, folks, the viewers who are in the various states across this great country who watch Hard Lens Media, if your U.S. senator is participating right now in the selection of RFK Jr. to be part of Trump's administration, just remember this. When you vote, you are not at the front of the line. Even when you're marking down on your pen and paper to vote for anyone, whoever it is, just remember that Nicole is pushing ahead of all of you. But she's not the only one doing it. They've been doing this for decades, putting money out there. But this is just out there before everyone. And yes, there will be people who will rally around Nicole, but this is something you don't want to rally around. When you have an election being shooken up with somebody saying, if you don't vote this way, I'm going to spend money on this so that you are out, so that they can replace you. This is an absolute failure of our republic and of all of our institutions. But it's always been like this. The reason why I'm talking about this is because it's so blatant and out there in the public for everyone to see. I'm wondering when everyone's going to realize, hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. How often has this been going on with our politics, with our elections? And it turns out it's always been that way.
But I'm not sure that's going to be heard or listened to by every Republican senator. You, in your video, you named names and you said you would be dropping money to primary those senators.
That's correct. I listed 13, but really we're watching all of these seats. We're at a point now, we're at a breaking point in America. You're either still working on behalf of big ag, big pharma, and big business, or you are working on behalf of the people. And there is a contract that each of these senators has with the people, not with these corporations, but with the people. And we are watching who is going against that contract, who is breaching it. The people will not stand for this any longer, and we want change. We want a leader. Bobby is that leader. He went out there, he took those slings and arrows for all of us today, and we're very grateful, and we stand behind him.
What we saw on that day was U.S. politicians project the rage that they felt towards RFK Jr. and RFK Jr. in turn raging right back at them. All it was a SmackDown, Monday Night Raw kind of fight. That's all it is. Now, Donald Trump has sworn to do scorch earth if RFK Jr. or Tulsi Gabbard aren't put into his administration. He wants them in. And just a quick reminder, let's say Tulsi and RFK Jr. don't get in, right? You do realize that Trump has a backup, right? That Trump has probably another person waiting behind them. This isn't the win that a lot of liberals or anyone in the vote blue, no matter whose sphere, think it is. Because again, the other repercussion is here comes the midterm election cycle where this entire hearing is going to be brought up, where all these U.S. senators who voted against RFK Jr., they're going to be in this situation where like, oh no, we got to bring up Nicole. We got to bring up money in politics again. Here it all is. By the way, this happens in the background. This is the first time ever I think we've ever seen anything this public before. And it's not a good thing. There might be people cheering for this, but I'm against money in politics. I'm against the fact that this is how our leaders are elected and selected. It's all about the dollars. And they say the mob is a bad institution. At least they're honest. You don't want to be associated with any criminal cartels or institutions. But our politicians who say they're supposed to care about us, they put on that smiling mask. But then as soon as they get elected into office, they're on their phone asking their donors for more money.
Nicole, I want to put up his resume, all the things that RFK Jr. has done throughout his career. He's 71 years old. He's founded Waterkeeper Alliance. He founded Children's Health Defense Fund, which came up today in the hearing. At one point, he was named Time Magazine's Hero for the Planet. You elected to join him in his race for the presidency, and here you are with me right now talking about this moment where he could take over as HHS. Why? Why are you so passionate about RFK?
Well, I, like millions of Americans, want healthy food, healthy medicine, and a healthy planet.
Well, hey, just like in any kind of situation, I'm going to say this: that's not going to happen. You think the lobby groups want that done? Healthy food, healthy environment, healthy planet, healthy people. How's big pharma supposed to profit? How's the healthcare insurance industry supposed to profit? People getting better and not getting sick and going into medical bankruptcy? What's the matter with you? So, am I being mean with that statement? Absolutely, but come on. They've been poisoning our food for decades. Our water isn't safe to drink. Our air is contaminated. Our soil is contaminated. You think these U.S. politicians who've been taking money from all these industrial corporations that are polluting our environment, you think these politicians who take money from big pharma and the healthcare insurance industry want healthy people? No, they want broke, dumb, sick people who won't challenge the system.
I want to watch my child grow up healthy. I don't want these numbers of parents that are burying their own children is far too high. That number increases year after year. There's no greater tragedy than watching your child suffer, than having to bury your own child. I've heard from hundreds of thousands of these parents across America. It has to stop.
No, you pointed
That's
out in
why
your
I
video.
care.
I can hear your passion. I can hear it in your voice. I really can, Nicole. I think you've also backed it up with your pocketbook, as you pointed out in your video. In 2020, you and I might have been on opposite sides of several outcomes in politics. You helped fund John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock get those 2 seats in Georgia. Now, today, in that video, you're saying...
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that, buddy. Everybody's so happy that they're in office because nothing says confidence than having a billionaire back you up. Come on. God damn it. Thank you. Thank you ever so much for that contribution, Nicole.
You'll do the opposite if they vote against RFK Jr. You'll dedicate that same passion money to primarying all of those senators. Nicole, it's a real pleasure to have you and to hear that real, genuine passion from you today.
Thank you.
Nicole.
Say it with me, folks. What could possibly go wrong, especially in this day and age where money in politics dictates how an election can go? So my takeaway from this, and what you should take away from this, and that is take comfort in the fact that this is so out there, but also remember in knowing that this happens all the time in America, but it's done in secret, never out there in the open. So the positive net for this is that you, my viewing audience, have this as a tool. Look, this Nicole is making this very strong statement that if these people, these U.S. senators, don't vote in RFK Jr., the consequence will be she's going to make sure that they're primaried out or they're elected out of office with her money. She's going to contribute to their downfall. This happens all the time in American politics, and people need to stand up against it. This is why we got to get money out of politics, because the voter doesn't have a say in this. And they'll put on this whole song and dance and saying, oh, this candidate right here, and here's Nicole standing next to them, are going to care about you and the issues. Do they really? And before anyone else types in the comment section, well, gee, Kit, well, we can't get money out of politics right now. This is the system. And I get it. But this is where citizen ballot initiatives come into play. This is where we start making movements and organizations not connected in Washington, D.C. come to play. And this is where we start really waking people up in the false concept that we could vote our way out of it. Vote out the other politician because the other politician being backed up by the billionaire is going to help us out. That's not how we get better. It's keeping the system the same as it ever was. So stand against money in politics. We have to stand against it. And this is something that everyone across the political spectrum should agree with.